All right. Hey, YouTube. It is your girl, Kimberly. Welcome to my first live. So, I am super excited. I finally got all the pieces. Well, not all the pieces, but I got a lot of the pieces to be able to go live. So, this is my first time going live. I'll apologize in advance. I'm pretty sure you can hear the air conditioning, but it's hot, y'all. It's real hot. So y'all are gonna have to deal with that. And any background noise, I apologize in advance. I do have a microphone, but unfortunately, the way Macs are set up, I only have one USB to USC connector, so I don't have the microphone this time. But I promise you, next time we go live, I will have that microphone and it'll sound a lot better. Okay, I promise. So, in this live, I am going to talk about my 9 biggest makeup regrets. So, because this is my first live, I just wanted to start it off kind of light. My goal is to do this every Monday, so kind of like a makeup Mondays kind of thing in the evening, and to give more of like a commentary style kind of discussion on makeup and on videos. So, in the YouTube beauty community, all the different things that are going on. So, I'm gonna start off with my 9 biggest regrets. For those of you who may not know the full story of all my makeup life, I really got into makeup back in 2000. I can't do math. 2009. 2009 is when I really got excited about makeup and started trying different things. And from 2009 to now, which is over 10 years, I can tell you how I've, in some ways, have learned a lot of different things from my experience with products, with people, with organizations, with companies, working at different places, and kind of what I wish I would have known when I started this whole makeup journey, right? So the first thing on my list is over here, so I'll be looking down, is listening blindly to influencers. Now, when I first started wearing makeup, there wasn't as many influencers as there was today. And I also I would say that all my makeup information at the time was coming from magazines, magazine websites, and then this new stream of influencers on YouTube, and this kind of being a new thing for me. Um, there were a lot at the time. The big hype was Mac. A lot of the influencers were Mac adjacent. Like they wouldn't necessarily say if they worked at Mac, or they were mostly like, I'm a freelance makeup artist and my whole kit just happens to be Mac. And I was kind of like, okay, well, everyone's saying Mac's the best. I'm gonna go get Mac. And I feel like I could have maybe had a. It took me a long time in order to get like a full makeup collection, and having a full makeup collection is not important. But at the time, I was in college, and like if I would have just been more open to doing my own research, learning my own things about different brands, and then eventually coming to the point where it's like, okay, now I've tried all these brands and I've come to my own determination to decide that Mac is great, that would have been different. But just in the beginning, already kind of being slated towards like Mac rules everything, I definitely feel like that kind of had a negative effect on my experience with not only the beauty community, but how I look at makeup products overall. There was a long time where before I bought any high end makeup, I would just feel like, oh, like this is just being pushed by the brand. It's not really a good product. And being super skeptical, overly skeptical. And I feel like that's because in the beginning I was so focused on like what influencers were saying in high end. So I definitely regret that. The second thing on my list is wearing the wrong shade. Now, when it comes to foundation and concealers, you're supposed to have three families, right? So you're supposed to have your spring fall shade, your your summer shade, and then your winter shade, right? Because ideally your skin is not going to change that much in the spring and the fall. In the winter you'll be more pale because you're inside more or less sunlight, and then in the summer is when you're going to have like your tan at the most, right? So I definitely was like, okay, so let me get this foundation high end, save up. Mind you, I'm a college student at the time. So I'm like, I'm going to save up my little coins and get this high end foundation. Boom, I have MAC. Like, now I've arrived. And that was, I would say, that was winter time when I got into it, right? So, wintertime, mind you, okay, so I'm wearing that foundation just fine. Nothing's changing. Springtime hits. I only get a little darker once it's the beginning of spring. But by the time like my birthday hits and it's May, I'm like, oh, this foundation is completely the wrong color. So now I'm trying to think, what am I going to do? Because I want to do my makeup for my birthday, but I don't want to look crazy. And basically, I ended up going to buy another foundation because it's like you can't, like one or two times I tried to finesse it and like I mixed like Smashbox used to have this photo finish. It was like a photo finish. What do you call these things? Primer. And the primer like made things darker if you mix it with the foundation. So I would mix the primer with the foundation and then it would make it a little darker, but it would still be not my color. Or if it matched like at the beginning of April, by the time it was the end of April, I was now a darker color. And no matter how much primer I mixed, it wasn't getting that dark. So I ended up just having to buy another foundation. And I feel like a lot of us get caught up in that where it's like you max out on the most expensive foundation and then as the seasons change, you keep trying to hold on to using that same product, and it really doesn't make any sense. So I feel like what you need to do is basically just, you can commit to getting that one high-end foundation, but then you got to realize that this is the foundation that I bought for this time of year, and that eventually is not going to work anymore for me, right? So you're going to have to let that go, let that ship sail. And now there's so many more affordable and drugstore options and stuff like that, especially if you're in high school and college and you're just coming into the makeup game. So definitely I would say do not wear the wrong shade. It is so much better for you to have more affordable makeup products that look the correct shade and look good on you than to say, oh, this is YSL $60 foundation and you look like you're wearing a mask. Like, that's totally bad. So that was my second thing, wearing the wrong shade. The third thing is going to be buying into the hype. Because especially with these celebrity-driven brands and all the different things coming on with makeup, you have to understand that there's a team of people that they are pulling out all the greatest things about a product, and they think that, okay, this is the reason why you should buy it because we built up this product